Welcome everybody. Thanks for checking out May's forecast. This month we are using Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. It's one of my favorite Colette Baron-Reid's decks. And we're working with our, looking at past, present, and future in terms of how we go forward on our journey. So we start off with the Eyes of Beauty. This is about positive expectations and clarity. This is about looking at your journey up to this point and recognizing it for the perfection that it is. So often we look back with regret, we sometimes look back with anger on what's going on in our lives and how things went. This shouldn't have happened to me, this shouldn't have been the situation. When in reality, everything is happening in divine perfection. Everything is happening as it should. It's the course of our lives according to the path given to us. I believe we're born into the families that plant the seeds for the things we came to work on in this lifetime. So everything is happening for our own personal development. If you can look back and let go of the anger you may have had in certain situations and really see it for what it's done for you, it really is that the most difficult people in our lives are the ones that trigger the stuff we need to work on. We wouldn't even know we had those internal patterns if it weren't for those people triggering them for us and bringing them to the surface. You might say at soul level, they chose a difficult path. They chose to be willing to be the person that maybe you would end up hating because of what they brought up for you. And that's a pretty tough role to take. So if we can, at a higher level of consciousness, be grateful for those lessons, even if we're still having a hard time accepting that person, accepting what went down, we can grow from that. So that's what we have for our first card. For the card that represents the present, we have the River Queen, reminding us not to be rigid, to be flexible. And again, it still ties into the idea of flow, that everything's happening as it should. It's a perfect path. We can either rail against what is, or we can look on it as, what is this life teaching me? If we walk into every day accepting that everything is a lesson, everything is bringing us to where we need to be, we can grow tremendously as a result. So what is the day offering you, and can you move with it? And if you're fighting against it, what's the fight about? What is it attached to? Where are you trying for perfection, where perfection just doesn't exist, except in acceptance of what is? And our last card came through upside down, which means it's a challenge, and it's the web weaver. So it's saying going forward, it's about being honest with yourself, being honest with others, not being manipulative. And manipulation isn't even something we necessarily do consciously, but it's part of our makeup that we've learned. I can't always show up as I am because family might not accept me, friends might not accept me. There's the fear of abandonment attached to that. So the challenge is, as much as you possibly can, show up as you are and trust that the people who resonate with you will continue to walk by your side, will continue to accept you. But it really comes down to self-acceptance. Do you accept yourself? If there's things you need to work on, this card also encourages you to do that work. It's not a passive self-acceptance. It's looking at where we need to continue our development and applying ourselves. But that doesn't work very well if we're beating ourselves up. We really do need to step into that, okay, I accept this is where I'm at. This is me and my divine perfection with all my flaws, doing the best I can every day, but continue to apply a little pressure to your patterns so that you continue to grow. Don't get complacent, but realize that the judgment we fear from others really always comes from our self-judgment. I hope that you have a beautiful day, a beautiful month. I'm starting my next podcast series starting today. This one will be on leadership. I've just finished a 10-part series on sacred relationships. You can look for me at Benita K. Summers, that's K-A-Y, on YouTube to catch more of my podcasts and my forecasts. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great month, everybody.